What's up? We got The Flash, Season 3, Episode 23, Finish Line, the season finale. So as I do with all my season finales, I give my ranking for how I feel about the season. And this season is really not as good as I thought it would be. It's very disappointing. They do some stuff that I felt like could have been done that they didn't do, like Flashpoint. That was a wasted potential of a season. That was a plot device. It was just like, ooh, season 2's got to end with this really cool cliffhanger. But then season 3 does nothing with that cliffhanger and just happens to be open-ended and does nothing with it. Like, Barry could have spent Flashpoint for like a couple of days and then for like a few more months and then realize how bad he was doing. But nah, it's only like one episode, and the whole hype that this episode 1 got was just run out of the window. Savitar's reveal was really disappointing to me because it was really crammed in. Like they had to wait it until like 3 episodes into the season, like 4 episodes, 3 episodes into the season to reveal who he is. Like, what? Like, you only have 3 more episodes left in your show, and you wait till now to reveal who your villain is? That's what's kind of disappointing about this season. That they waited until the 3 episodes, that there was 3 more episodes left to reveal who their villain was. Like with other villains, Reverse Flash and Zoom, they revealed at episode 9 and episode 15 of season 1, season 2. Why did they wait till episode 20 to reveal who Savitar is? It's just like a stale cookie. You waited and still so stale. It's just so stale of a cookie. But I give the season a 5. It wasn't that great as the other seasons were. Season 1 and 2 were way better. Zoom was more... Reverse Flash and Zoom were more threatening villains than Savitar could ever be because he was just a guy in a robotic suit. I see the comic version of... Like, last night, I saw the comic version of Savitar that they used in the comics, and I was like, wow, the guy with the goatee and the beard is way more threatening than this Barry Allen knockoff that we got in this season. He's way more threatening. The comic version of Savitar is way more threatening than this Barry Allen knockoff that we got in this season. A Barry Allen knockoff. We just got Barry Allen, but evil. Okay, let's get on to the season 3 finale, Finish Line. So, this episode starts off with Iris's dead bot, with Barry, with everyone's shocked that Iris is dead. But then it's revealed that it's not really Iris who died, but HR is dead. Because somehow Iris was captured off screen last episode, and HR found out where she was and took her place and was killed instead of her. So Iris was HR and HR was Iris. Okay, Tracy is sad that her 1 episode boyfriend is now dead, and he's like, hey, tell Cisco something that we'll not find out until the end of this episode. So Killer Frost is about to kill Vi, but then Savitar is like, hold up, don't kill him. And he's like, why? Because we need him for something. Since he starts, he's like, HR is dead. And he's like, I thought Iris isn't dead. And he's like, huh? How? And he's like, HR took her place. And he's like, HR. And he's like, HR is supposed to live. And he's like, not anymore. Cisco, you're gonna help us. And he's like, and then we see Evil Barry. And he's like, what Cisco, why do I need why do you need my help? And he's like, because I want your help creating a Speed Force, like Speed Force bazooka that can transform through all time from the Big Bang until the end of the world. Kind of dark, but okay. So he just wants to rule. Instead of killing Iris now, he's like, oh, I gotta change my priorities. I just want to destroy I just want to reign through the world now. Okay, Savitar. Okay. And yeah, so they're like, now that Savitar's dead, what's gonna happen? And he's like, well, Savitar is not dead. He's like, why didn't Savitar die? It's because the time paradox hasn't caught up to him yet. Once the time paradox does caught, since Iris never died, Savitar is never created, which means that the time paradox is going to catch up to him. As soon as it catches up to him, it's bye-bye Savitar. So Julian's like, hey, I created a cure for Caitlin. And he's like, with the help of Caitlin's mom, we just need to give it to her and she'll be back to being the Caitlin that we know and love. So yeah. So he's like, hey Cisco, Evil Barry's like, hey Cisco, if you don't help me, I'll kill Caitlin. But if you do help me, you can have your precious little best friend Caitlin back. Yeah. So he's like, yeah. Get working, Francisco. I don't know why they call him Francesco. So anyway, San Francisco. But so yeah. So Barry decides to go and recruit Savitar, and he's like, hey, dude, you remember Masonville? And he's like, yeah, when he wanted to go to a science expo, but the flat tire, and he ended up eating ice cream in Masonville. So he's like, you remember, because there's still a part of me inside of you. So they take him back, and he's like, don't you make a move toward Iris? And he's like, yeah, killing Iris would mean nothing to him now. And he's like, where's Cisco? Where's Caitlin? And he's like, they're fine. He's like, I was asking him. And he's like, yeah. And then, and he's like, well, how are we going to tell Tracy? And Tracy's like, are you kidding me? And he's like, he stole my future. Why does he get to have one? And he's like, I know who to help Tracy. It's Harry, because Harry randomly appears from Earth 2 to help Tracy. And he's like, hey, HR would need your help. And he's like, HR is dead. And he's like, HR wasn't a scientist. He was just some random weird guy. He was a random dumb guy. And he's like, this team needs you, and HR would want you to help them. So I'm surprised HR sacrificed himself. So then Savitar is, so he's like, hey, he's gonna kill you. And he's like, no, he isn't. He's like, you're just saying that because bad guys like Savitar always turn on their partners. So then Savitar's like, yo guys, what's up? And he's like, yo guys, what's up, guys? That's my line, but so he's like, where are you gonna work? And he's like, am I gonna have to live with Wally? And he's like, this is Cerebral and Hilbert who we used against DeVoe. Whoever that is probably a season 4 villain that we haven't seen yet. And he's like, who? And he's like, why you guys haven't gotten to that part yet? Because we're defeating you Barry knockoff. I love using that word, Barry knockoff. So they decide to go in. So then Savitar reveals that it was all fake, and he wants to blow up Star Labs, and he's like, hey, your friends are dead, Cisco. And he's like, kill him. But that's when Gypsy shows up, and she's like, Gypsy? And he's like, hey, how'd you know that was the opposite? Why aren't you thanking me? He's like, thanking you? That was the opposite of the thing. How'd you know? And she's like, we're connected. Jerk. So then he's like, hey, he told me, evil knockoff bear told me you guys were dead. And he's like, no. So then Killer Frost starts exploiting Savitar. So that's when the Black Flash shows up. And Killer Frost kills him. But that's when Savitar says one of the worst lines I've ever heard any villain say on television. He's like, the one thing Black Flash couldn't fight, cold. That's so lame of a line. Like, why would you have your villain say that? That's so lame. So then they blast her. But that's when Jay Garrick comes out. He's like, Garrick? He's like, sup? And he's like, how'd you? And he's like, he didn't. I did. I turned your Speed Force bazooka into a Speed Force skeleton key. And he's like, this ends now. And Killer Frost's like, go! So she starts firing, and it's like a cool fight. They start pew 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 and pew and pew and action fight. My hands are creating the action fight. So then Killer Cisco is about to kill. Savitar is about to kill Cisco, but then she's like, okay, Cisco, go back. He's like, no, I'm just gonna, if you want to be Caitlyn again, here. So then Savitar attacks. He's like, here, I kill you again. But then Killer Frost blasts him, and he's like, I knew there was good inside you, Caitlyn. So yeah, so then Barry defeats Savitar, phases through his suit, and he's like, how close to your ascension, and end up on the ground. And he's like, if you kill him, you become him. Either way, knockoff Barry lives. So yeah, so Barry's like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. So Barry just starts walking slowly to the gang, and then he's just like, ooh, time to kill him. But then someone's like, see ya, shoots knockoff Barry, and it would be Iris as knockoff Barry fades to existence. Bye, knockoff Barry. See you never. So yeah, we don't like knockoff Barry. So yeah, so then they have HR's funeral about how HR about how Adrenaline wrote about how when his teacher asked him about when he was 5 what he wanted to do, and he said he wrote happy, and he said he didn't understand the inside, and he's like, they didn't understand life, and he's like, that's what, and HR understood life. He didn't have super speed, he wasn't a scientist, but he was a hero. He was Iris' hero, and then he says he was our hero. So yeah, so then Caitlyn shows up, and she's like, or not Caitlyn, and she's like, hey Caitlyn, are you gonna come home? And she's like, I don't have a home. And he's like, yeah, you do, with your friends of me. And she's like, and she reveals that she didn't take the cure, and she's like, I'm not. And he's like, she's not Caitlyn. He's like, you're not Killer Frost. And she's like, I'm not, but I'm gonna have to find out what she is. And she leaves. So yeah. So then Baroness are talking about the wedding vows when something starts going off. Lightning starts attacking. Lightning. But yeah, lightning. Boom, lightning. But then Barry's like, the speed force is unbalanced. But that's when it's like, I have to correct it. And she's like, wait, what? You're the Flash. And he's like, no, there is a Flash. Wally. So then that's when he's like, it's your mom. And he's like, it's the speed force. And she's like, Barry's not going to HLL. He's like, sometimes there's a race to finish, and they reach their finish line. It's time to go, Barry. He's like, no. He's like, this is what I've done. This is what I have to correct my mistake on Flashpoint by going into the Speed Force. And Barry hugs all his friends. He tells Iris to never stop running as he goes into the Speed Force and ends the season. Okay, season 3, you were not a very good season in my opinion. If you compare to season 2, Zoom was, as I said before, Zoom was great. Knockoff Barry or Savitar wasn't. So anyway, that's it for this video, and I'll see you next time for more for season 4 of The Flash.